and Dinah. So Dinah from Lewis Climate Hub is going to talk to us about how community groups can mobilize change. So over to you, Dinah.
Hi, well, it's Dinah actually from Lewis Climate Hub, and the title of this bit that I'm doing is "How can community groups mobilise to create step change?" And in Lewis, we have just opened a very sort of modest little climate hub, just a disused shop on the high street, and it's an alliance of environmental and social justice groups. We think of the Climate Hub as a tree that draws on the grassroots of all the local, hardworking organisations and builds a resilient trunk that branches off into all directions of the different areas of transport, housing, food, agriculture, waste, etc. And the flowers are all the projects that the tree gives out to sweeten the environment. And there are many reasons why we thought to do a climate hub. Many groups in the area are so busy working on their own projects that they didn't actually know what other similar groups were doing and were unable to work together. And uniting the groups gives them a bigger voice, it gives them stronger campaigns, and has a bigger ripple effect in public awareness of the issues that they're working with. For example, if you have BLM, Diversity, XR, and LOSRAS, the refugee groups, all working together, the public is more aware of it generally. And linking the groups together enables more support, more input into projects, and larger networks for them sharing information and greater access to greater resources like funding. And having the groups meet regularly, either online, which we've had to do all through the winter, but now in the last 4 weeks since we've opened, actually in our physical hub, it encourages cross pollination of ideas and innovation. And we've seen that even when just 3 or 4 people from different organizations sit together for half an hour, the stuff that comes out of it is marvelous. And being on the high street, having high street presence, a physical presence, means we are as accessible as we can be. And we encourage engagement through our developing, I have to say developing because it's all very new, program of talks, workshops, and activities. And having a space where groups can also use the window to promote their campaigns, open coffee mornings, poetry readings, and surgeries all gets people knowing that we're there. The surgeries are a very good way of working with the town and district councils and helping to roll out their climate strategies to the public, because we can have rolling sessions timetable to focus on housing, energy, transport, food, well-being, etc. And we can also host we hope to promote the UN Sustainability Development Goals by encouraging the Council's consultations to be showcased in the hub and on public display so people have time to engage, because it's there all the time, not just for one afternoon, to ask questions, to get answers, and importantly, to know where their consultation output goes and how it is processed, so it's not just a waste of time. We can also host the Lewis Town Neighbourhood Plan Review, which is a very important thing that's coming up in the hub, and help people understand what is at stake in this big document and how to take part in it. Another aspect of the hub is that we can try out best practice models of self-organising, like holacracy and sociocracy, rather than using traditional hierarchical systems. We can educate to some degree the wider public to understand the way we are governed, which is a mystery to most people, from parish to town to district and county councils, and then to central government. And we can also show them how to raise their voices to achieve a fairer system of governments and where to direct their voices to lobby. We also can ask the town and district council to become more democratic by learning how to run people's and citizens' assemblies. And we can importantly ask them to become more aware of the climate crisis by doing something like the carbon literacy training. So even though it's cross-party, they all have a minimum of information. And I'm not talking at cross purposes, but singing from the same hymn sheet when it comes to making decisions. We can help publicise initiatives like the low-cost housing scheme, which is different to affordable housing. It's based on the average wage in the area and what can be therefore expected as a rent. And we can help raise support and knowledge of it so it can be rolled out further than the town itself. And we can help create wealth and push for a local green circular economy through working with councillors. We can point out opportunities that are obvious to us but not obvious to them always, such as the need where we are for a wool cooperative to make local sheep's wool into insulation for local housing schemes, or promoting partnerships between the local landowners who could host solar farms and local electric transport initiatives, because we haven't got any buses, so we could own our own community buses and power them with solar. And we can spread the word on community renewable energy production to all of our different groups and projects in case there's room for them to engage with it. And we can signpost the public to co-housing and community land trust schemes because the housing situation is dire and nobody knows what's going on. So the Climate Hub is definitely more than the sum of its parts. At the moment, we have just touched on linking up with the universities. We've got two of them. We've got Brighton and Sussex, and they have community access programs and expertise in all kinds of areas: energy, air purity, transport. We have all this expertise on our doorstep, and now it's the time for joined up thinking to limit the climate crisis. Another way to create step change is to promote through the hub to the public the three big switches. As you know, switch to a renewable energy company, switch to a non-fossil fuel investing bank, switch to a plant-based diet, and come into the hub to find out how, because we can signpost people to all kinds of things, including recipes. These actions can create a groundswell that in turn can affect public opinion and the outcomes of things like people's assemblies. They can also act as an index as to what the councils need to do next. So the hubs can very much be a liaison facility, as well as initiating projects and supporting campaigns like the law being debated in Europe at the moment against ecocide to protect environment. Hubs can be a one-stop shop for all things environmental, for building social justice and local democracy. And we can be an aid and a spur to the councils to take action on the climate crisis in a not so timely, but badly needed and inclusive and regenerative way. So thank you. And thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Dinah. And thank you very much for correcting me on your name as well. Dinah, thank you.